Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com, and this is episode 115 of Photo Critiques. And I'm sure you guys have heard I'm no longer accepting images for critique. I do have enough to keep me busy though through February and into March, so I'll be doing critiques for a while. And when I'm done, I'll be doing something else instead of critiques. And if you guys are interested to find out what that is, in the description of this video, I'll have a link. You can click on that and it'll explain why I'm not going to do critiques anymore and what I'm going to be doing instead of critiques. Now, in this episode 115, I'm pleased to critique the work of Fabien Michel or Mitchell. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Also, you signed your email Fabien. I assume that's your first name, but in your watermark here, it's Michel Fabien. So I'm going to call you Fabien. Hopefully that's not your last name. Thank you for sharing your work with us, and you sent some really nice landscape shots in. This first one I really like. Just a brilliant shot, really nicely done. Very nice subtle play of light on the subject. The clouds are beautiful. Sky is fantastic. Not overly processed. We have this water in the front, and a lot of times I talk about you need sometimes a foreground element. In this case, I don't think Fabien does. The reason being is the water is interesting. We have some specular highlights over here. We have this kind of different textured water flowing in from over here. So it adds, I think, to the shot. It adds some depth to the shot and some texture to the shot. And this is a really nice shot all the way around, Fabien. Very well done. This shot here too, it's kind of like tide is out and everything is on the mud. I like that you did it in black and white. I think it adds to the graphic, stripped down view of the shot. Kind of like, adds to, I don't know, adds to the feeling. The sky isn't overly interesting. We do have a sensor spot right here, so we got to get rid of the sensor spots. Also over, no, never mind. That's not a sensor spot. Anyways, very well done. I like the idea that you're going for here. The picture is relatively bright. In this instance, I would like to see you, and I think if you used a slight vignette, dark vignette, just to bring down that sky just a little bit and to help pull the viewer more towards the middle of the picture. As you can see, there's before and there's after. Just a slight vignette, I think, does a lot to help this image. This very interesting image. Now we have two different like tones here. We're very dark up in here and very bright down in here. Generally speaking, I mentioned this many times, we don't want bright things around the edges of the frame unless it's all balanced. See, in this one it was more balanced, and I still darkened it with the vignette. Now this one, because we're so bright up or so dark up in here and so bright down in here, it doesn't look balanced, so it's harder for the viewer to see this shot. We're kind of fixated on the non-interesting sand, really, when we should be looking out in the distance here. So this is a scene, I don't know if you could process it any differently, where you could have it more evenly toned in luminance wise. Or if you could process it differently, work the scene differently, whatever you got to do. It's an interesting scene. It's definitely an interesting scene and photo worthy. It's just the way the processing is. This part being so dark and roughly, more than a third of the shot, and it just doesn't make it balanced. It's an interesting shot, kind of selective focus where you're focusing in, I think, on these few little like puff balls right in here. Interesting. It's a nice study of focus and kind of compression too. Used 120 millimeters on your lens, and it's called compression when you get these hills, these subtle hills, and it will make them look a lot bigger when you use a telephoto lens and view it. It kind of squishes everything together and makes it a little more of a dramatic hill than it probably was. So this is something like I think if you're trying to learn how your lenses work and see what they do, you could go out and try a shot like this. So in a minimalistic point of view too, from an artistic side, it's a very interesting shot, and I like it in that regard. This is a nice shot too. It's obviously very busy, but it's more like a sculpture almost, frozen in time. And I like the processing. It really makes the feathers look very graphic, being in black and white, and the different shapes and the contortions that these birds are in. Very interesting. I think it's a very, very compelling shot. Definitely an art shot and very well done. I like the processing. Everything you did from the framing to the processing worked together to make it a very compelling image. It's a really nice shot, very warm. We have this kind of half submerged, I don't know if it's a big wide dock, kind of help lead your eyes into the center part of the frame. We have the sun off center, which I like. Brilliant sky, very nice. See now how these kind of two halves are more balanced in color and luminance in this case. Whereas when we went back to this one, can you see what I mean? How it's more unbalanced. And I know the effect I think you might have been going for here, but I think it would have been a stronger image, as I mentioned before, if this was more balanced like this one is, just more balanced. And it's a very nice shot, very well done. Again, you might want to consider using a vignette on a shot like this. Just a slight vignette. It helps draw, again, the user's eye towards the middle. There's not a real strong subject in this shot, so we tend to, when we don't have a real strong subject, I mean, if there was a kayaker coming through here, that would have been more of a subject, so we wouldn't have needed the vignette. But we don't have that real strong subject anywhere in this shot. It's really just a pass, like a scene of the sun, the sun setting, kind of, artwork. So the vignette helps draw the viewer towards the center. An interesting shot too. I mean, just all the birds. And again, now this one, the subject is all these birds scattered about. And very nice sun, very nice composition, very tranquil looking. I think it works. I mean, it's not a very complicated shot. It's just kind of happened to be there at the right time when all these birds were flying across the scene. So it's a very interesting shot. This shot here, again, another sunset, very well done. Colors. Now we do have kind of a vignette on this one, helps draw our eye more towards the center. The only thing, again, I could suggest you get a bird right here that's so far off in the distance, it just looks like a dirt speck, something up here. Clone those out. They're just distracting. You also have kind of a little bit of a lens flare there. You might want to just clone that out too, because it really isn't adding to the shot. But other than those small little things, it's a very, very nice sunset, very well done. I like that you didn't totally silhouette this so we could see the frost and snow on the branches. Very well done. This one's kind of another simple scene, and you pulled it off. It's really nice. We have the leading lines leading up to this like pagoda or something back here in the background. We have a person walking through the scene, which adds to interest as we're looking through. I definitely think if that person wasn't there, it wouldn't be anywhere near as interesting. So once our eyes are led through the scene, we see the lady, we see this pagoda, for lack of a better term, I'll call it a pagoda. Then we could see other things. It's really kind of foggy out here, and we could see these unique shapes of these trees that are like evenly dispersed throughout the background. It's a really nice shot. It's very nice composition, very well done. I like that you made it symmetrical. We don't always have to have things off to the side, we don't always need to have things in those points of intersection if you're using the golden ratio, the rule of thirds, or whatever. We could center things sometimes, and it works, and this works. Very well done. And I think that's it for Fabien. Yep, that's it. Thank you very much, Fabien, for sharing your images with us. I really enjoyed critiquing it. I really appreciate everyone who watches all my videos. Thank you very much. And if you guys have time, go over to my website, anthonymorganti.com. I got all kinds of goodies over there on photography. And if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'd really appreciate if you emailed me a remedy for a cough so I could get rid of this cough. That's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon.